What's up, guys? Jiraiya here, and I'm coming at you with something a little different today, something I'm trying out, right? I've always wanted to make videos on this particular topic, but I just didn't have the confidence yet. Now that I've been speaking on camera a little bit, even though, views aren't, I don't have the multi-million views, but we're here anyway, and I want to make this content, and I feel like I can do it. So we'll be talking about physical training in fiction, specifically in this case today, anime. Now, why am I doing this? Well, for those of you who don't know, I am actually a certified strength conditioning specialist. That means, not a special, I am not a personal trainer per se. I am educated specifically in strength conditioning. I have a degree in wellness and exercise science. I've been a strength conditioning coach for 8 years. That is my full-time job. And, I feel like as a subject matter expert who is also a nerd in all things fiction, I figured this is a interesting place to blend what I love to do outside of YouTube as well as what I like to do in my off time. Now, also keep in mind, I am formerly, or at least right now, just a non-active amateur boxer. So some of these things I'm also going to have specific knowledge of, just because, hey, I've been in the ring before. I know what it's like to take a punch, throw a punch, etc., etc. So some of that will be involved. But here we go, guys. Let's give this a shot. All right, so how we'll be doing this is I will be watching this on my tablet. Obviously, I'll put it up on screen. The first one we are going to be reacting to is called Raidu Becomes Fat. Now, for extra context, I had my wife send me a whole bunch of clips that, or of anime that I've never watched. So for me, a lot of this is organic. There's some anime that I have watched. We're going to go over Demon Slayer here in a little bit too, but that's besides the point. The first two, for sure, I've never seen. I have no context, so let's get into it. First one, like I said before, is Raidu Becomes Fat. So let's take a watch right here, and let's go. Okay, so we got, obviously he's a chubbier individual. Oof. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I've had that experience. So for those of you who don't know, I was 230 pounds about 2 years ago, and I was well over, oh man, he gained a bunch of weight. But, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you gain that much, it's not super great. But I spent my entire adult life over 200 pounds, and now that I'm at like 160, yikes. So let's see what he does with it. Oof. I'm just waiting for the training to start. My wife said, hey, just start over here, and we're just gonna roll with it. Oh, she hit him with the diet, it was like diet for dummies. Okay, we got some crunches, some push-ups. He probably needs to bring the elbows in a little bit tighter. Okay, he's got some supplementation. A little cardio. Oh, I don't, oh. What? Bro, wait, is that it? Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. My guy literally did push-ups, sit-ups, cardio, rode a little bit of a mechanical bull, had a little bit of whey protein, and hey, man, he was skinny. I wish it was that easy. I really do. I spent so much time in the gym running, dieting, training, non-stop. And this guy does it basically in like one day, just does those 4 things, and he's just golden. So, not realistic at all, but gotta love anime for it. Alright guys, up next we have Michelle, Magic and Muscles. I almost said Magic and Monsters, but I'm guessing there's a reason behind all that. So let's take a good hard look. All right. Wow. What the? Bro, what? He... He said 5 minutes, that's all I need to work it. Could you imagine if all I had to do was train for 5 minutes a day? That's absolutely ridiculous. Homie was... I gotta replay that. Yeah, so he's bench pressing, essentially doing the Russian/Ukrainian war dance, and spinning a barbell on his fingers, all in the span of 5 minutes at insane speed. Obviously not realistic at all. Again, I know, from what I know, it's more of a parody anime, a slice of life-esque type anime where, you know, the goal is to like make fun of Harry Potter or like be a parody of Harry Potter of some kind. I've seen the wife watching it, but just I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I don't know what I was expecting. Like, I knew it was kind of ridiculous. I've seen some clips here and there. Like, I think there's like the one scene where he's trying to fly on the broom, but he can't. So all he does is essentially just, you know, start helicoptering his legs or whatever hard enough to create lift. I don't really have the words to like explain how ridiculous that is, but I think obviously that's the whole point. So moving on to the last video. Alright guys, up next we have Demon Slayer, specifically the training arc. I have 3 clips lined up, so we're gonna go at them back to back. So first up, right, we have the flexibility scene, and I think you guys already know this is gonna be hilarious. So let's get to it. Play. She said, I'll show you how it's done, huh? Homie thinks he's gonna... Oh my god. Ooh. She said, Tanjiro, give this a try. Oh my gosh. Now, mobility, guys, is super important, but you should not be stretching to the absolute end ranges of motion like that. Absolutely not. Some random alpha male video was playing, and God, it's so terrible. But anyways, that being said, so I think that's kind of a hilarious scene, because a lot of people come to me talk about mobility and stuff like that, and they're always like, I want to be more flexible, I want to be more mobile, and I'm just going to stretch all day. Yes, doing yoga, stretching, that's always helpful, but at the end of the day, like, you need to be able to move through a range of motion. But moving on to the next video, let's get after it. Alright, up next we have them doing the cold immersion training. So let's take a solid gander. Play. So they're doing some cold water training, and they were essentially just trying to, I'd imagine, try to increase their mental toughness, but it looks like they're just now drowning, and that's oh my gosh, man. Some of these you want to, like, how do you say this? I'm trying to hit stop on the recording, but there's a lot of things that, I'm not saying they don't have value, but when you look deeply at it, like, at the end of the day, is it really that helpful? Yes, you should do hard things. You should do things that challenge you. Absolutely, no question. But there's some things I just look at and I'm just like, it's kind of eyewash to me. I'm like, why? 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 Why would we want to do that? That just seems like a huge waste of time. But that's just my opinion. You know, not to say there's not a lot of research done on cold water immersion, but it's more often than not, it's just not as useful as people think. It makes you feel good. I wouldn't prefer it. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm much more of a heat type person, so that's just a preference. But at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot to say that, like, you're going to get a massive increase in performance or anything like that. So moving on to the next video. All right, last one, we have Saitama from One Punch Man. A little bit more familiar for me, but we'll be taking a look at his training regimen.
You listen carefully too.
You mean he's going to tell us right now?
First, what's important? is to make sure you really stick to this intense training regimen. Listen, Genos. You have to keep doing it. No matter how difficult it gets. 100 sit-ups.
That's funny because I remember
100 push-ups. Then a 10-kilometer run.
I remember he really made it sound so intense.
Do it every single day.
It's actually like legitimately not hard if you're like relatively in shape.
Never, ever
If you aren't,
leave the
hey,
air conditioner
by all means. There's nothing wrong with hitting
strengthen the mind.
body weight training.
And of
It's
course,
absolutely
Make sure
fine.
you eat 3 meals
You don't like
daily.
weights, you don't need to use weights
Banana in the morning.
depending on what the goal is. But,
In the beginning,
you know, to
you'll
get
wish
as
you
strong
were
as
gay.
Saitama is just by
You
doing
might start
that, like,
thinking, what's the harm of
legitimately,
taking a day off?
after a certain amount of
Even
time,
when my arms started making weird
you just-
crystal noises, I
what do you
kept
call it?
doing push-ups. I did squats, even when my
you,
legs
you have
felt like they
what's
couldn't
called
move.
diminishing
Even if I
returns, because
was
your
spitting
body
blood, I never
essentially
stopped.
will get used to whatever stimulus or whatever stress you put on it. So after a while, it
Started to notice
it doesn't quote unquote hit the same as the young kids say nowadays.
And I had become
But
stronger.
yeah, like again, there's nothing wrong with bodyweight training, but for him, he'd either have to like make it harder on himself by adding some sort of load, right? Whether he's squatting or putting like a plate on his back for some push-ups, you know, running uphill for his runs. You know, there need to be some form of what we call progressive overload.
Full of crap. I have to get stronger.
He just called him out. He's like, yeah, that's bullshit. That's enough of that. But stop. Okay. So realistically, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing body weight training, right? I myself take, you know, as a boxer, you know, do a lot of that, right? I've had to do the push-ups, I've had to do a lot of running, sit-ups, pull-ups, whatever it is, right? Nothing wrong with that, but how you train should, you know, reflect what the end goal is. If you want to look huge, well, likely you're probably gonna have to pick up very heavy objects more. You want to get very strong, you have to pick up even heavier objects and probably do it at, you know, a certain rep range, a little less than you would if you're trying to get huge, right? I'd get more specific with it. I don't know if you guys want that, right? Generally, you know, you want to get huge, we call it hypertrophy, gain some muscle, 12 to 15 reps. You know, some would say 15 is more on the strength and endurance side, but again, you know, it's neither here nor there. Getting strong, hey, you probably want to go between like 1 and 6, 1 and 5 reps, and you want the weight to be a little bit more challenging, right? How you train should be reflective of your goal and vice versa, right? If you're trying to lift the house, you shouldn't be out here like running marathons. And if you're trying to, you know, run a marathon, you shouldn't just be trying to lift the house all day, right? So always think about that. And on top of that, progressive overload is king. Like Saitama was saying, I do it every single day until you know, I went bald. You're gonna need to do a lot more than that for that to happen. But again, this is neither here nor there. It's anime. I totally understand it's all supposed to be ridiculous. And it is. That's why I find it so funny. But just remember, guys, if you take anything away from these videos, progressive overload is your friend. Your training should be reflective of your goals. Have fun. Have fun training. Like, a lot of people think working out and training is punishment. Realistically, it doesn't need to be, right? If you enjoy the process, you're going to enjoy the result that much more. And, you know, you just go from there. Oh, and last thing. As intense as anime gets, as intense as I know my own training tends to be, don't forget to take a rest day, de-stress a little bit, because at some point your body needs to rest, and that's, you know, that's such a huge thing that people neglect, especially in anime. They're always like, train all the time until I go bald, until my knuckles bleed, blah, 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 blah. So keep that in mind, fellas. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun doing this, and, you know, hopefully there are more videos like this to come. So I will see you guys in the near future in another video. Jiraiya out.